Connor. First of all, congratulations and welcome. I guess the easiest question would be, really what went into your decision entering free agency, and what did you know about New Jersey that felt like an appealing place for you to land for these next few years?
Yeah, it was a balancing act, to narrow down the places I wanted to be. I mean, ultimately, I'd say the main factor is, the skill and of the team and the direction of the team. I think the team is in a position to, get better and better over my term, and so, I anticipate some good playoff runs and things like that. So, also there, other things go into it. East Coast, so closer to our family. We got a little guy, so be able to have family visit him a little bit easier and things like that.
For you, you have like a short sort of lap over with Sheldon Keefe when you were in the Marlies. So I'm just wondering, what do you remember from him? What's maybe appealing for you to come into a system where you're familiar with him from many years ago? Can you sort of speak to me a little bit about that relationship?
Yeah, I spent a season under him in the minors with the Marlies, and we had a lot of success with that team. Went on a deep run that year, and he's a really smart coach, really well thought out, and he helped me a lot in my young career, and so I'm excited to work with him again.
And then lastly, one of the things that Tom Fitzgerald said today when he was talking about the free agent signings and yourself in particular was you've gone to the finals a couple of years now in a row. You've come up short, unfortunately, but he understands what that feels like and what drive you then like really have to succeed and want to, get over that hump. And he feels that maybe you're a perfect person with that drive to come here and help this team accomplish that. Do you kind of understand what he means by that added drive there when you're so close?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, having two devastating finishes the last couple of years, not easy, but yeah, it definitely throws a hunger in you. And so when I was, when it looked like it wasn't going to work out in Edmonton to stay there, that was at the top of my list. I want to get back in the playoffs. I want to get back and having a chance to win. And I really, really see this team as an opportunity to do that. And a team that I think is going to get better and better. So yeah, I'm excited to, share my knowledge of experience, what I can bring on and off the ice. And, I think I fit the team quite well. So I'm excited to get it going.
Thanks, Connor. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you, Amanda. Next questions will go to Mike Morreale, NHL.com.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks for doing this, Connor. Welcome to Jersey.
Thank you.
Um, Connor, I'm just curious, and probably Devils fans are too. For anyone that's not familiar with your style of game, what might that be?
Um, I'm a two-way winger. Always have been relied upon heavily on the penalty kill. Positionally very sound, and I obviously like to create offense. But I think as I've gotten older in my career, I think I really have a defined role as far I imagine that Sheldon will give me some D zone starts and things like that, penalty kill and late in games, trying to close out games as well. And adding to that though is offense is really important and making sure I'm contributing. But those things are the staple of my game, and making sure that's consistent because I find when you have a team like that defends really hard and is really sound positionally, it gives you a chance to win every night. You don't always have to have not every night you got your best stuff, and the puck could be bouncing, but a good sound positional team has a chance to win night in, night out. And I'm, growing up watching the Devils, they were a perfect example of that. Such a good defensive team, for such a long time. And, you see that with these young guys we have now. I think that's going to only evolve and make us only a tougher team to play against.
Yeah, that's great. And Connor, I'm curious, what kind of impact uh, did your or has your brother played, Jeff, in your career to where you are right now?
Oh yeah, that's tough to quantify. I mean, you have an older brother, and we both played hockey, at the highest level in minor hockey in the city of Toronto, and he played in the OHL, and so he really paved the path for me. He was he's still very, very close to him. And so, yeah, Jeff has been he's been very, very influential in my career and a great sounding board for me. And so it definitely it's tough to quantify.
Yeah. A quick one here too. Nice to see a fellow Otter go number 1 in the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. No, exactly. It's nice to see that franchises just keep producing more and more players. So definitely some pride in that.
Thanks a lot, Connor.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Mike. I'll open it up if we have any further questions. We'll go over to Trey Matthews, Pucks and Pitchforks. Go ahead, Trey.
Thank you. Connor, you've been in the league for quite some time. Where do you see your leadership helping out the Devils both in the locker room and on the ice?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think they have some good leaders there right now. Um, but I definitely have lots of experience, especially coming off a few you know big playoff runs and going as deep as we did. And so yeah, absolutely. I think that my experience will only help guys. Especially as this group, it's a young team and it's getting better and better. So I think it would only help.
You've had the chance to play with so many all-time great players, including Connor McDavid, Alex Ovechkin, Austin Matthews. What lessons were you able to learn from them, and how do you hope to apply it here in New Jersey?
Yeah, no, I definitely have had the opportunity to play with really good players. You learn a little bit from every guy, whether it's like a little skill here or a mindset thing here or an approach to the game in this way. And so each of those guys were really unique to one another. And every guy's a little different, but I see our team has some stars. I mean, Jack Hughes, the way he skates. Um, it's second to none in the league. So I'm excited to watch our stars evolve and be part of playing with some more great players.
That's it for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trey. We'll go over to Leo Scaglione, MSG Networks.
Hey, Connor, congrats on the contract. Welcome to New Jersey.
Thank you.
I'm going to go back about 10 years. Bring me back to that 2016 series against the Albany Devils in the playoffs. I remember it was a fun series, a little bit of a nasty series, but a very entertaining series. You scored a goal in game 7, too. What do you remember about it?
Yeah, I remember. I remember it being grueling. Had some big D, and we had a really young team, and they were beating up on us pretty good. And we stayed in the fight, and we're able to grind it out in Game 7 at home. Yeah, I just remember it being a really really good series. And that's kind of that Albany team is the definition of what I view the Devils as. Is just they were so strict. We had a list of prospects, guys that have gone on to make really good NHL careers on that Marlies team and that Albany team, and they're super sound and very tough to play against. And so that's kind of I think I alluded to that earlier, but when I think of the Devils, you think about a defensive sound team, really tough to play against, and so I'm excited to help be a part of that mentality.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leo. We'll go back to Amanda Stein. Go ahead, Amanda.
Connor, you mentioned, you sort of described the way that you play. Again, something that Tom Fitzgerald talked about today was really those, that Sheldon can rely on you in a lot of those defensive zone draws, that kind of thing, that kind of area of the game. It's something that Nico Hischier has been heavily relied upon, but maybe too much in the sense that you want to free him up a bit. Do you feel like that having you come in can really help free up guys who maybe are dependent on a lot for that?
Well, I think so. I think I mean the more less responsibility weighs on each guy. I know that
Yeah.
getting to Edmonton, I was able to take some big penalty killing minutes away from guys that were playing too much minutes or you can really only focus on so many things in the game at once. I mean, you can't try to so. I think for sure. I mean, I can't imagine that. I imagine that Nico will be relied upon just as much defensively as how good as he is, and but like I said, I definitely think that my role definitely will clash well with a lot of this young skill.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I was kind of teeing on, how that kind of helps counterbalance everybody's roles, right? And just sort of that additional help. I mean, you mentioned Nico. What do you know about him and appreciate about him as an opponent that you're looking forward to having as captain slash teammate?
Yeah, super sound, strong on his skates, strong on his stick, and when you have guys like that, they're so good defensively. And I see him as a guy that you rely upon big time in playoff moments. I think he's going to have a massive role, of course, like, if we want to go on some runs, and because you can play him against anybody, and he makes really tough minutes on other guys, and also has high end skill to finish plays. So yeah, he's you look at so many, Jasper Brad. There's so many great assets on this team, and that are going to be around here. So it's exciting to be a part of.
Did you know anyone previously on this team? I mean, previously, did you know anyone on this team, or did you have familiarity with anyone?
My dad actually coached Jack Hughes in minor hockey in Toronto. Yeah, so this was like many years ago. But yeah, my dad was he was a minor hockey coach for me all the way up, and then he coached Quinn for a few years and Jack. And so I know that I've known the Hughes boys in the Toronto area. Jimmy was my player development guy when I was drafted to the Leafs.
Gotcha.
So Jimmy was pretty close. So yeah, anyway, so I have a connection with the Hughes brothers for sure.
And I know that obviously it's, been 24 hours, just over 24 hours. Have you heard from anyone yet? Or is that take a little breather, and then the next couple of days, I'm sure it'll all pan out.
Yeah, it's been pretty hectic, but no, a bunch of the guys have reached out, and pretty much just said congrats, and let me know if they need anything. And so
Awesome.
I'm sure I'll be getting back to guys and asking, about living situations and details over the next week or so.
Amazing. Thanks so much.
Yep.